Are you excited?
A little bit.
Everyone, just gather round for a sec.
Oh, here you go. What's up the story?
This paddy, I didn't mean the soil test.
That's a
this
challenge,
paddy
Judah.
is pretty good.
What?
High
That's a challenge.
organic matter.
Getting the billy card in there.
4 something, 2.65, and the minerals are pretty well up there. We've worked on this.
This paddock is 64 hectares there is across here, right along the range here. It's stringy bark range, so it's not heavy soil. Been in crop for about 6 years. It had wheat last year, it had canola the year before, it had wheat the year before that, it had oats the year before that, it had lupins the year before that, and then it had, I'm pretty sure it was a triticale crop. I've just found with undersowing, I always used to struggle with undersowing with a cereal crop because we were sowing a grass crop and usually after a grass crop. So we've had a wheat, we try to undersow, we're trying to undersow them with another wheat crop. So I decided to start undersowing with canola. This was sown, the canola was sown at 1.8 kilos. So that's the canola sowing rate here is 1.8. All the wheat stubble was retained. We knocked it down with, where's John? Anyway, John might have got back down the house. Oh, here he is. Yep. We knocked it down. John had a Brookfield disc chain, and we knocked the stubble, wheat stubble down with the Brookfield, sprayed it with a stubble digester and compost tea, and left it. Then we came in on the 26th of April and sowed this with 1.8 of canola, a kilo of chicory, 4 kilos of lucerne, and 2 kilos of 2 kilos of each of 2 types of clover. So that's what we see here now. So it's gone, there's been 2 readings of bricks and one's gone 9 and one's gone 8.8 off the leaves of the canola, just off the leaves.
Which is really good in this stage because it's not doing it anymore. It's storing it.
Yeah, so that's actually, this has already gone past that high brick really of the leaf area.
And what is it now?
9 point. So Hugh and Martin, would you like to make a comment?
Well, I'm just looking here, and when you get through with harvesting your canola, it's going to come back in pasture because it's undersowed. That's the schema
exactly.
here.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the things that you've got in here. I'd like to see more diversity, but this is obviously, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to work. And what I'm thinking, I'm not sure that this is going to prove out to be true, but I'm thinking that the diversity underneath here actually helped the canola. There's all of this stuff about how it robs the canola of nutrients and moisture and so on and so forth. And I'm very skeptical of that belief. I think it's a belief. I don't think my experience proves that to be true. I think my experience shows it's false. But I don't have numbers on that or anything like that. But I think that just standing in this crop, this is not a bad canola crop.
It's only had 14 units of nitrogen.
You see, you wasted all that 14 units when you could have done it with none. Yeah, I'm always shooting at that 0 nitrogen input thing, and if I think I can get by with a little bit less the next year, I'll try it. So I might try, instead of 14, next time you do this, try 12. But I'm not so silly that I'm going to cut it all out at once, because that almost surely isn't going to work. I think you have to wind those things back, and you be careful about it. Back, and it's going to make a pasture it's going to work. I'm not sure what I'd do to get there. I do like the things like the chicory I would have put, you know, I mean, people are gonna think I'm nuts. I would have put fescue in here with some of these.
Now, there's a method in my madness.
So,
The reason I sowed a really strong legume base under here is because this country through here is notoriously full of ryegrass.
it's got
So
ryegrass in it now.
I've got no problem that there'll be a huge amount of ryegrass in here eventually, because it was all sown in the 50s and 60s through here, Wimmera ryegrass forever. So I have to try and get a bit of a balance of more legumes back in some of this country.
Jamie.
So what's your plan with the self-sown canola through the summertime? Will it choke out your enlisted clover?
Didn't
I'll
last
probably-
time. We've done this before.
Jamie, I'll probably put a quick graze of lambs across it, because they're 320 hectare paddocks, so I can actually intensively hit it and take them out really quick. Because yeah, you will get self-sown, no doubt about it. Yeah. Underneath, the first test was 7, the second test was 3. So the chicory right underneath the canopy is low in bricks.
Need a bit of light.
Do you eat it?
Is it a double shot?
No, the canola and the grass seed all mixed together.
Right.
9-inch spacings, just sown with a little tube coming right in behind the knife point, sowing it at about probably, 3 mil or just in 1/4 of an inch or something.
And press wheel over it.
Just a press wheel. Yep. Nothing more. And look, if you'd seen the stubble and
Soil, and then your stubble stays there. And I've seen no-till, like in Georgia where I farmed, then we had wheat and soybeans in like a rotation, winter wheat, summer soybeans, drill right into the wheat stubble with soybeans, and then sow from an airplane, sow your wheat before you combine your soybeans, and just carry it on, summer soybeans, winter wheat.
Yeah.
And
that variety of
Yep.
clover is arrowleaf. If anyone's wondering why it's red.
Grows like an arrow.
But I had it last year, and I'm sure Rhonda's probably got a shot somewhere she could bring up on a computer. The canola paddock last year, when we went to windrow it on about the 22nd of November, it looked like an arrowleaf clover paddock. And the poor guy, my young cousin windrowed it, and he went, "You are kidding, I'm not asked to do this, am I?" But it was amazing. It was just incredible, the amount of flavour in it.
And then it sprouts
That's
again
beautiful.
from the base after.
Oh, it just came back.
Chickens
Well,
up.
it's direct seeded through it. Yep.
You just to finalise, just to try and sort something out for myself. Story with it is with a lot of these plants, when you harvest them, they still carry their minerals and everything else in it, but they're volatile. Now, someone made a mention of me some time back that 12 days it takes for a stubble to volatile.
Well,
And if you're going to use it, it should be put in the ground
absolutely.
within that 12-day period, so you've retained most of your minerals in the.
Edwin's done trials in America on it. The
Yep.
sooner you can get your stubbles in, the better. Down and in, absolutely. Yeah.
He actually was saying that if you
stubble
can,
soil contact, otherwise,
Yeah.
like things break down and oxidize, things go up in the sky.
Yep.
And you need to have the stubble contact with the soil, because in the microbes in the soil then
Make use
capture
of
all
it.
that stuff.
and that's the reason I knock it down. I get it low, as close to the soil surface as I possibly can get it.
You don't have to have it ploughed in.
No,
No,
it's
you don't
like a
have to.
disc chain actually just does throw dirt around on it, so it's got little particles of stuff on it, there's no doubt about that with a disc chain.
Yeah, but like
But
for,
that seems to aid it,
like for
breakdown.
5-ton crop stubbles, you can use like an offset disc to get the 10-ton stubble better connection with the soil. And I've seen like a 12-ton stubble from an irrigated crop disappearing in 6 weeks with an offset disc. And then you can sow your crop and like
And after all, I mean, it does make sense if you want to get
Is reasonable, and the organic matter in this paddock is 2.94, and the 6.22 CEC. But it's interesting if you then look at the leaf, the zinc is showing copper's low, zinc's just very marginal, sulphur is, so whether the big taproot's extracting that and moving it up, I don't know.
I think that there's something for me in here, this sowing it so close to when we tilled in the pasture was a lot of dry matter, like a huge amount. When we tilled it in, and then we sowed straight away, and then we got the guy's comment anyway.
Yeah, I reckon you must have got some late germination in that.
Yeah, an 11.4 bricks at the moment.
This is because it's at an earlier stage and it hasn't put all its sugars into the crop yet. But one of the things that I noticed in the leaf test, the soil test and whatnot, the lack of effectiveness of the phosphorus, the lack of copper as a cofactor, allowed some of the chlorophyll to burn up and it reddened some of the pods. So, and there wasn't quite enough copper in there as a cofactor of phosphorus, and it shows you what happens. And you can see on the leaf test there the copper's